What's up guys, Hades here. Illusion Battlefield Season 8 is back. We are going to be talking about builds for week 1 through 10, mostly starting on the early weeks. This guide is going to be catered towards newer players, but there's still a ton of information to be gained even if you're a mid or high tier player, because these concepts apply throughout all levels of IB. Now, the first and most important thing is making 3 builds, okay? It takes time, I know, it's tedious, but there's a reason that I've won IB League so many times. And it's because I'm always prepared. I understand the fundamentals, I build the metas, and I am prepared to counter the metas. So the first and most important build, this is your bread and butter build, is Fire. Why is Fire so important? It's because the dragons are maxed 10-10, and we have level 5 troops and only 11,000 of them. This burn damage does over 10% of a unit's damage. Now, why 5 fire? Well, that's because we get 10% HP buff, which allows us to have more troops, which means this is effectively less effective. Now, there's 3 ways to build. You can go full fire, you can go full water to counter fire, you can go fire with con to counter water, or you can use full fire to counter fire with con. Now, why can't we use wind? Wind was very strong in the playoffs, but why is it not strong now? The reason is the fire dragon, because it does so much damage, it actually has a boost when it has elemental advantage, and fire has elemental advantage on wind. So it does bonus damage. So on top of its already high damage, it does bonus damage to all heroes, which makes it so incredibly strong. And fire is already the best. So if fire is the best, wind becomes unplayable. So now that we've gotten all those basics out of the way, let's talk about the actual skills within the main march and the first few weeks. Now, the first few weeks, the first 3 marches are actually all very useful because we only get 50 points to spend, and I'll talk about spending points in just a little bit. Now, this is not perfect, but as you go week by week, you're going to upgrade the skills here, and at the end of the 10 weeks, you're still going to be using a lot of these same skills. Not much changes, okay? Fighting Will, once you choose to upgrade it, you need to upgrade it to 8 because the chance percentage is very high. However, because we have side assist available to us and Annihilation, which is one of the best skills in the game, even with all the legendary stuff, we're going to be maxing this first. And if we're going to max this first, we want to be side assisting our mage. And because mages are so powerful with Annihilation, we are going to be assisting them in all the builds. We're going to be assisting Merlin, and we're going to be assisting Wu. So, what's with the other ones? Well, concentration makes all your other damage do 30% more once it's maxed. And even if you don't max it, it still does 9% increased damage, which affects her ultimate and Annihilation and Death Breath. Now, there are some options to swap Death Breath out. You can swap it with Fire Nova, well, not Fire Nova, Toxic Nova, or Chase. And that's just up to preference. And both of these can be swapped with those. It's really preference. But in the first few weeks, we want to max these skills and have them side assisted. Next, I do want to preface that auras level 1 are not very effective. Now, if you really want to boost your team in the first few weeks, you can remove the level 1 auras and swap them in for things that give you more power right off the start. Things like blessings, things like anger, things like resist, they're all very good at the start. The next piece that you can swap is Oaken Guard with resist. This is usually going to be better in your main team because mages are the key. Resist is better against mages. It's up to preference. The thing is, not everyone follows this build, right? A lot of people end up doing wind with Alex, hybrid, and Hannibal, and it's physical. You never know what your opponent's gonna get. In theory, they should have a mage and you should be using resist. You can also take Oaken Guard and swap it here and have both, because why not both, right? It's all preference. Any orientation of these is gonna make you very, very strong and very effective. And then you just copy it into the next one and you make it very similar, okay? Now, as for upgrades, we want to make sure we max every week. We get 50 violet coins and we want to upgrade the most effective things we can. The first week, I highly recommend maxing Annihilation. You do not have to max it, but it's a very high recommendation. Then you have some debate. What's the next best? You can go with Energy Suppression. If you get some Energy Suppression and they don't, that would mean you ults first, which means you have a big advantage. You could also go with some Fighting Will. If you go to Fighting Will, I think you can get it, what, to 5 or 6? You'd have a nice chance to get Roots. Roots are going to give you a very nice advantage. You could also debate Weakness would be very nice, getting higher crit chance. You could debate that Death Breath is nice, getting more upfront damage. You could also debate that a purple skill, Concentration, would be a good, because it's cheaper. It only costs 3 to upgrade rather than 4. But then some people also say, well, I have one violet that's being wasted. So what you can do is refresh your skill, change it to, or get it to 7, and then get the gold skill up 1, something like this, right? So that you don't waste any violet. And now this gives you a nice base as to what you can do for week 1. And then week 2, you get 50 more. Then you can max Concentration, Death Breath, and maybe upgrade Resist, or maybe upgrade Energy Suppression, maybe upgrade Weakness. It's really up to you. These weeks have historically been very poor performing. A lot of people don't show up, and then it ends up being a numbers disadvantage, and your build doesn't matter anyways. But a reason I make these videos is so that more people have access to what a good build looks like, so that if they can bring together 30 of their friends or alliance members, or I actually think it's 40 in the first few weeks, that we can have more competitive games. But if you guys like these kind of videos, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.